right, let's talk about verb characteristics. Every verb has 3 characteristics: person, tense, and number, and you're going to need to remember that because we use those characteristics all the time. So let's say we had a sentence: the nun lops off the head of the dragon. Now, in this sentence, of course, the verb would be lops. So let's talk about that verb a little bit. Now, person. Person answers the question, who is doing the action? If there's not a separate subject now, so in this question, who is doing the action? Very clearly, the nun is doing the lopping. So there is a separate subject noun in the sentence. If there's not a separate subject noun in the sentence, then the subject of the sentence is a pronoun that is indicated by the person of the verb. Okay? So let's talk about first person. First person is singular. We can either have singular, we can have plural, is I. So I could substitute I lop off the head of the dragon, and that is first person singular. Plural for first person is we, and of course it would be we lop off the head of the dragon. Second person, so first person I'm talking about myself, or I'm including something else with me. Second person, I am talking to someone else. So second person singular is you. You lop off the head of the dragon. Now in plural, in my Latin class, we're going to use the Southern version of you plural because that helps us distinguish it, because in English you can be either singular or plural. So we're going to say y'all, and that tells me second person, I'm talking to a group of people. Third person singular, I'm talking about someone else, and we either have he, she, or it. So he lops off the head of the dragon, she lops off the head of the dragon, it lops off the head of the dragon. Or plural, which is they. And this is going to be the same for any tense, any conjugation in Latin. It matches exactly what happens in English. So that is person. Who is doing the action? It's either a subject noun, like nun, or it has to be a pronoun. All right. So in tense, tense answers the question when. When is the action happening? And what we do is we take, the verb tells us that both in English and in Latin. So that comes right over. So in present tense, it's happening now, right now as I'm talking. So this would be present tense. The nun lops off the head of the dragon. That's happening right now. Imperfect tense, these are the 3 you're going to need to know this week. Imperfect tense means it was happening in the past, but it might not be finished. Might not be finished. And at the time I said it, it was ongoing. So if I wanted to rewrite that sentence, I would say, for present, we have that sentence up there. And if it was imperfect, it would be the nun was lopping off the head of the dragon. So if you notice in imperfect tense, at the time that I was telling you about this, reporting about the nun and what she was doing, she was currently at the time lopping off the head of the dragon. So at the time I told you, well, last I checked, she was lopping off the head of the dragon. She may still be lopping off the head of the dragon as I'm telling you, but she started it in the past. She still may be doing it, and it might be ongoing, it might be finished. Therefore, it's what we call imperfect, right? It's not perfect. It's imperfect. It's probably not quite finished yet. All right. So in the future tense is something that will happen, of course, sometime later, right? Sometime in the future. It's not happening yet, but it's happening sometime in the future. And if we were going to rewrite our none sentence, we would say the nun will lop. Right? So we've got some more sentences down here. He is walking. He was walking. He will walk. And if you notice, just a regular old present tense verb here, right? He is walking. He was. If you notice in the imperfect, there's a helping verb, and in the imperfect, we always see a was or a were in front plus a verb. And usually an in, usually a verb that has ing attached to it. So was verbing or were verbing. And he will walk. Future tense has a will in front of it always when we translate it into English. Okay, so that's person. Who is doing the action? Looks like I erased some of that here. Let me put that back in. Who is doing the action? Tense. When is the action happening? And the last one you need to know is number. And number is how many are doing the action. And that is very simple. We either have singular, you'll see me abbreviate it with a big S, and that just simply means one. And plural, which I do with a PL usually because there's lots of P's in Latin, so I do PL for plural, which is more than one. And that is pretty easy. Verb characteristics: person, tense, and number.